Hello and welcome. I'm really glad that you're here taking these few minutes for yourself. Today, we're going to talk about a companion that is all too familiar to most of us, that harsh, judgmental voice in our heads. You know the one. It's the voice that speaks up when you make a mistake, when you fall short of your expectations, or when you're feeling vulnerable. It tells you things like, you've messed up again, or you'll never get this right, or you aren't good enough. It says this in different ways, but these are kind of the messages behind it. Historically, we've been taught to fight this voice, to argue with it, or to try to ignore it. But in acceptance and commitment therapy, or ACT, we take a very different approach. We want to understand what this voice is actually trying to do, and to learn how to hold it with kindness so that we can move forward anyway. Let's start by looking at your mind with some curiosity. Why is it so incredibly harsh? According to ACT founder Russ Harris and evolutionary psychology, our minds didn't evolve to make us feel happy. They evolved to keep us safe and to help us survive. Historically, the brain did this by scanning for threats, mistakes, and flaws. So when you make an error, your mind panics. It wants you to change, to do things differently, and to avoid future danger. To do this, it uses the only tool that it thinks is powerful enough to get your attention: harsh self-criticism. It thinks it is helping you. The problem is, its delivery is terrible. It tries to motivate you by making you feel worse about yourself. It's an automatic, old survival mechanism operating in a highly unworkable way. The truth is, you are a human being, and being human means that we're all on a massive, complex learning journey. Yes, you are going to make mistakes. Yes, you will sometimes choose to do things or react in ways that aren't particularly things that you're proud of later. That is not a sign of a broken character. It's a sign of an active, learning life. If we model this mathematically, we can think of growth as a simple equation. Progress requires iteration, and iteration includes error. Instead of self-condemnation, which paralyzes us, we want to shift our perspective. Mistakes are just data points. They show us where we can pivot, adjust, or take small, manageable steps in a better direction. So, how do we make that pivot? How do we use our minds to direct us instead of defeat us? It begins by taking the energy away from self-punishment and channeling it into values-based actions. Ask yourself, in this moment, what kind of person do I want to be? Or what is the core value that I want to stand for right now? Once you identify that value, look for the absolute smallest, most manageable step you can take in that direction. If you made a mistake at work, maybe the step is just writing a 1-sentence email to clarify. If you reacted harshly to a loved one, maybe the step is taking one deep breath and offering a sincere, simple apology. We build momentum not through massive overnight changes, but through tiny, compassionate course corrections. But here's the secret ingredient that makes those steps possible: self-compassion. To diffuse these heavy, unworkable thoughts, we have to learn to hold ourselves more kindly. When you beat yourself up, your nervous system goes into fight or flight. You freeze, you avoid, or you lash out. But when you offer yourself kindness, your system calms down. You create a psychological safety, which is needed to look at your mistakes honestly, without defensiveness, and actually learn from them. Kindness isn't weak, it's the fuel for workable, resilient action. To help you practice this in your daily, day-to-day life, I want to share a powerful 5-step tool. It's called NNPW. It's an acronym. First, notice. Simply bring awareness to the self-critical thought as it arises. Second, name. Put some distance between you and the thought by naming it. I'm having the thought that I'm failing. This is called diffusion. It helps separate you from the thought in that you are not the thought. It's the thought that is thinking this. Third, normalize. Remind yourself that this is just a normal human brain doing what brains do. It's not a fact, it's a story. Fourth, look for the purpose. Ask yourself, what is my mind trying to protect me from or help me with right now? Acknowledge its protective intent. And fifth, assess workability. Ask, if I let this thought guide my actions, will it help me build the life I want? If not, gently let it go and choose a value-led action instead. Using NNNPW is like training a muscle. It takes practice, and it is best learned step by step. To help you integrate this tool deeply, I've recorded a specialized NNNPW training session. And in that video, we walk through this sequence together in a slower, more interactive way, doing these exercises and helping you move from harsh self-criticism to mindful self-direction. You can find this training directly in our resource library under the title NNNPW Practice. I highly encourage you to head over there next, watch it, and let's practice it together. Thank you so much for your time today. And remember, be gentle with yourself. You are learning.